Today, yes today, we find ourselves all equally blessed on this journey through greater and lesser evils. Join us as we explore the hard realities and uncomfortable truths plaguing our society. So without any further ado, let's jump right in and rip this band-aid off together. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back.
What's up?
You're here, we're going to talk, you're going to listen, and we're going to knock it out of the park today for you. As always, I've got my cleanup hitter over here, the tank. Slide him in the hole, he hits it out of the park.
Hi.
How we doing?
Yeah.
Good. And we've got our silver slugger himself, the triple threat,
All
the
right.
40-40 club member, Xavier.
All right. I feel as though I should be like doing like a, a pose out there, like a pose or something. Yeah.
I feel like I'm overdressed for this. Did I overdress?
I'm sure everybody knows what we're doing, but what's on your shirt? You're so brave for wearing that shirt that way.
This isn't the embodiment of Superman?
Oh, no. I think you do look like Superman if his kryptonite was Hot Fudge Sundays.
I love my Hot Fudge Sundays, so I can't be mad at you. They're great. He's not wrong. This is a little bit...
It's a bit snug.
I feel sexy in it, though, and that's all that matters, that you feel sexy in your own body. Public service announcement. With that being said...
Body positivity.
He's right. This is a Superman tribute episode. We're going to go over 3 Superman movies as promised.
Yeah.
We're going to go through the data sheets. First movie is going to be Superman the Movie, 1978, starring Christopher Reeve, Margot Kidder, Gene Hackman. Written by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, who, if you didn't know, were the people that created the Superman character in the very first place for the comic books. And Mario Puzo. Directed by Richard Donner, who he was a good director back in the day, but this movie hurt to watch. Budget of $55 million, made $300 million. It was an Oscar nominee for Best Music, Best Film Editing, and Best Sound.
Yeah, $300 million in 78. That's like $1 billion
It's
today.
$8 billion now.
At the time, it was the most. It was the highest. Not only grossing movie, but at the time it was it cost the most amount of money for any movie that to be made at the time.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah,
Wow,
it was 55
I didn't know
million. Yeah, it was.
Wow.
55 million. That was 1978.
That's money well spent.
Yeah,
back
and
then.
it made $300 million out of $55 million.
Yeah.
So today's, like most movies, regular budget is $100 to $200 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that movie at $55 million was the most expensive movie to be made at the time.
There was a lot of really great graphics for the time. I'll give you that. I wasn't even bored. 78, I mean...
Yeah, so you're gonna get into it, but yeah, it won the Oscar for.
So John Williams did not win the Oscar. Unfortunately, Midnight Express and The Deer Hunter won the best...
It won the Oscar for Special Achievement Award for visual effects. Before there was actually a special effects award. It won it.
You're right. That was an after effect. Though.
Yeah.
This was I was talking to one in 1979. But you're right. It got one of those achievement awards later on in life.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. You're correct. But yeah, the Midnight Express and The Deer Hunter beat out John Williams. And John Williams, if you don't know, is the guy that did Star Wars sound. So moving
wow.
on to
I did not know that.
Yeah. John Williams was the man for sound.
Okay.
He was our. I can't think of the dude's name now. Why can I? Who's the sound dude? Danny Elfman.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
My dad would have killed me if I didn't remember Danny Elfman.
Okay.
Danny Elfman, all the Batman movies, everything. Danny Elfman would have been our go-to. Anyway.
Okay.
So, Man of Steel came out in 2013. It stars Henry Cavill, Amy Adams, Michael Shannon. Written by David S. Goyer, who does pretty much everything in TV. You can look him up. Christopher Nolan. Shocked me that Christopher Nolan wrote this script.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Siegel, obviously the same guy that did that. Directed by Zack Snyder. We love us some Zack Snyder here.
He's great.
Oh, the Justice League Black Cut is so amazing.
Yeah,
yeah.
we are Snyder fans.
3 movies in one, man.
Yeah, we're that problem with those feminists that say about Snyder. We love.
Budget $225 million. Box office $668 million. It won in 2014. It won an MTV Movie Award for Best Hero for Henry Cavill and a Golden Schmoes Award for Best Trailer.
Wow.
We're just making things up. Here's my Stinky Shoe Award.
Yeah.
These are real.
I know.
These are completely real.
Yeah.
And then the last movie in the set that we're going to talk about here is Superman Returns. It came out in 2006. We're saying this one later because this is more of a sequel to both of them, a direct sequel from the 1978 one. Starring Brandon Roth, Kevin Spacey. You have a great career, man. Sometimes bad choices up to end our careers. Kate Bosworth, Written by Michael Dougherty, Dan Harris, and Bryan Singer. Say that again, Bryan Singer.
That's right, Bryan Singer.
Directed by Bryan Singer. They had a rather large budget, and they definitely didn't hit it in the box office. But it was an Oscar nominee for Best Achieving in Visual Effects. So, that's something.
Surprising. I hope it's okay. When I was reviewing these movies, I hated Superman Returns so bad that I actually just watched Man of Steel twice. I hope that's okay. So I watched Superman and Man of Steel twice.
That's like a spoiler in itself.
Wow.
It is. Speaking of spoilers.
Oh, no.
Speaking of spoilers.
Oh, no. Yep.
Simba gets his dad killed.
No.
Simba gets Mufasa killed.
Oh no. Oh no.
Did you know that?
I cried.
I bet.
I'm crying right now.
I'm crying looking at you in that shirt.
Doesn't it look great on me, though? It looks, from the right angle, I kind of look like Henry Cavill.
I can feel the power though. I can feel the power from the shirt. It's flowing into me. I feel it.
That's my deodorant.
Feel it.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's my
all right.
deodorant.
You're so brave. You're so brave.
Oh, we love each other. I love Superman.
Me too.
I might have said in other episodes how much I hate people and want to punch babies, but I love Superman.
Yeah,
love.
Yeah.
So it's from my heart that I'm going to dissect parts of this and really be not a very nice person. I don't like the 1978. They start with that stupid Daily Planet ad. Why do I care about the Daily Planet? The Daily Planet plays nothing in Superman. It's his job.
So I can understand why they would have Daily Planet, because you have to think this was 1978 to see
News mattered.
Yeah, not only did news matter, but remember this was the actual first successful comic book movie that ever made. Superman, that's what it is. So this is the first time like all those kids got a chance to grow up with that comic book.
Yeah.
And got a chance to truly see their hero like on a big screen.
Yeah.
So and that's where it came from.
And this started in the 1930s.
Yeah.
There was a television show, with another actor that tragically died, playing Superman.
Yeah.
There's like a curse,
Yep.
that
Superman.
goes along.
You're
The curse
true
of
about that. You
Superman.
talked about that.
Yep. Curse of the Superman.
And so to be able
Rest in
to
peace, Christopher.
bring that, in live color, great with everything that they had in
At the time,
1978.
yeah. Peak.
Absolutely,
Yeah. At
and
the
they
time.
had to do it right, otherwise it probably would have tanked every comic.
Yeah.
That ever had a chance of even becoming a motion picture, and they knocked this one out of the park for 1978.
Exactly. So the first comic book movie made actually was Batman. Batman with, guess who?
Adam West?
Adam West. That's
Yeah.
right. That was actually the first comic book movie made. However, for a successful comic book movie that was made, it's Superman.
Look, Eartha
I'm
Kitt.
trying to go back to it was successful. That's the difference.
It didn't take me long to realize I was a straight man. I love breast. I'm sorry, but Eartha Kitt in that
See what I'm
Batman
saying?
movie,
Yeah,
and that
Eartha Kitt
Catwoman outfit.
kills.
Oh yeah.
Who wouldn't want a woman in a cat
She
outfit?
does all that.
It's like, yeah.
Disturbing.
Oh man, straight up, straight up.
Wait, if it moved when you did that, is that a bad thing?
No.
Okay.
No. No, I'm saying no means no.
Oh,
No means no.
we might have to switch seats here for the rest of this. So moving forward with the 1978, because we're kind of going to cross over a little bit here back and forth. John Williams' music, though, that legendary Superman music, I felt motivated.
Yeah. Oh man, it kills it.
Now I don't have to do the copyright thing. That's perfect. You sang it for me, so I can just put it right there. That movie, that's what's
Right?
missing in Man of Steel. Man of Steel does not have that same level of soundtrack, that same level of emphasis. Because that's your cue. When you hear that music, Superman's coming.
He's coming.
It's that dog whistle thing in our brains that triggers. Dude, it hits me in the feelies.
Yeah.
Completely in the feelies.
Well, I think that goes back to like I said before, the level of care that was put into the 1978 Superman is a level that we today cannot even cover. It's like building a Great Pyramid, somebody trying to recreate it.
Okay,
Right?
so how did you feel about Marlon Brando taking the lead?
Oh man, 100%. I loved it. When I say I loved it, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm pretty sure most people don't like it, but to me, to understand his range of acting and then to see him keep himself contained with the stupid English accent. That's right. He still killed. He killed it. So much so they wouldn't let him die in 2006. I'm saying that. I don't think because the way I put it this way, right? He was so good in my personal opinion. Because a lot of times what we have to do is like, I think right now we see like these 1970 special effects, and it's kind of hard for us to compare the two, but to be
I don't want to do that. I'm going to tell you guys straightforward, we're not doing that.
Okay.
Because we're going to go ahead, and we've all talked about this off stage before we got to this. I'm not going to judge a movie by its lack of ability to provide a story based on the technology at the time.
Right. Okay.
You're not going to do that.
I understand that. But like when Superman in 1978 flew around, and they did use, some cables and things, and he landed really nice.
Yeah.
For five guys trying to hold them.
Yeah.
And I also love the physique of Christopher Reeve at that time, because that was as good as it got back then until muscles became a science.
He put on 22 pounds of muscle for that movie.
Absolutely.
He worked out like a madman.
Yeah.
But my thing with the Superman character, other than any other superhero that we will ever talk about, is with Superman, he doesn't have to be ripped because it's his genetic structure on Earth that makes him that. He doesn't need muscles.
The sun gives him...
If he was 400 pounds, he would have soaked in more radiation.
Yeah.
He could have been even strong, conceivably, and they're not going to do that. They're not going to make a 400-pound Superman. That's absurd.
I'd volunteer for it, though. I think
I'm close with this one?
But you already have it on.
But yeah, his physique doesn't matter. Even though Henry Cavill killed it in his rendition of it.
No, Brendan Routh killed it too.
You can see his fat rolls.
No, I'm telling you right now.
You see the Spanx.
So when you look at the reviews for Superman,
I told you that was Brandon Routh.
So I'm telling. So they actually compared. A lot of critics actually compared Brandon Routh to being a synthetic human being because he was so not even joking. No jokes. Like when you look at the reviews and the actual critics talk about Superman 2006 Return, Superman Returns. They actually compare him to a synthetic human being. Okay.
Well, we talked about comparisons. Let's go with that. In both these Supermans, we're introduced to Zod. In the very first Superman, Jor-El's a lawyer. Not an engineer, not a scientist. Jor-El's a freaking lawyer.
Because politicians have all the power. Everybody knows that. See, politicians have all the power. Yeah.
Nate the lawyer, we do love you though. We love your podcast.
Oh yeah, Nate, that's right. Shout out Nate Lawyer. Love that guy.
With that being said, he's sitting there basically prosecuting Zod, who's going to be in Superman 3, Ursa. And the dude that can't talk, they really don't give him a name. He's just a big, gigantic dude. He does have a name. He's just that guy. He is.
That is the fact, yeah.
So they're sitting there, we get introduced to them, and then they go to the Phantom Zone. And again, graphics-wise, that was a horrible way the Phantom Zone, but they didn't have the power that they did in Man of Steel. So then, this entire movie, we dealt with Zod. So I'm going to ask you both, which Zod is better?
Man of Steel's, for me. All the way. But you were talking about the first two movies.
Yeah. Well, no, that's fine. I'm going to transfer to this.
I want to skip all of that because I love the Man of Steel Zod. Is evil.
Yeah.
Ruthless.
That's the thing. It's not that he's evil. He's just simply trying to save his species.
Yeah.
So that's
so he has a purpose. Makes him so villainous. Exactly. Is he's willing to do it without any compromise.
Exactly.
Whereas in 1978 we were a little different with our violence.
Saying genocide out loud would have been bad.
Yeah,
it would. And that's what Zod from Man of Steel was doing. Yeah.
And the way they sell first of all, which one's better?
To me, I'm 100% Man of Steel.
Okay,
Zod.
All right. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page with that. I'm not hating on Superman 3. But Michael Shannon knocked this role out of the park. It was perfect. He's a warrior. Even the scene where he floats up, I'm a warrior cow. What were you, a farmer?
Exactly.
It was perfect. Intimidating. Great. It made you feel things.
But the revenge thing was set up differently. In Superman 1, as you guys know, Zod got mad at Jor-El because he wouldn't vote for him not to go to jail. That was the essence of why he was mad at him, because he could have voted against the council and they wouldn't have gone to the Phantom Zone. But I think, again, Man of Steel does this better. That Zod's actually leaving a coup right there. You see it live. And then he gets stopped in his place. Jor-El dies fighting for his son, and everything gets presented in a much better way. Now, don't get me wrong. Hindsight, they had the ability to make it better because they did it first. And you're right. You said it was the most successful one possible.
I think that's probably why, like, if you already know the story and you're trying to grab a new audience, that didn't grow up with Superman the same way that the middle generation did, and to put a spin on that, brings in the younger crowd because they didn't read their dad's comics at all.
Exactly.
So to be able to appeal to a newer audience with a newer
fresh take.
Yeah,
it's a fresh take.
Absolutely,
it's definitely a fresh take, and that's what makes Man of Steel so good.
Yeah,
it's a fresh take on Superman.
Yeah,
because
I totally respect purists. I really do that. You wanted to keep that story, as original as possible. Do you tell the population?
Oh, do I tell the population?
Yeah.
Are you going to be the snitch?
I'm that guy that will tell the population. 100%. I am that guy that's going to tell them.
That's because you're stronger than everybody already. You're a superhero on this planet. You're going to be fine. But the rest of them aren't going to be able to compete.
No, I have to. Because the whole problem, that could be like my downfall. I have to tell them. And I have no problem saying that.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think that everyone deserves the...
I think you like to be the bearer of bad news.
Yeah, it could be.
Guess what, bitch?
100%. You're going to die. You have 12 hours to live, and that was 4 hours to go. So you have that was 4 hours ago.
You see how that rolls? No, I'm just saying.
That is actually me. Yeah, 100%. Like I would tell you that because you deserve to know. Like this is going to happen.
The sides, you have a lot of light blue. I thought it was supposed to be the same color all the way throughout. It's stretched to its max.
It's slimming.
So, Man of Steel, the Superman in Man of Steel is the ultimate Kryptonian. He has everyone's DNA. He has the entire planet's DNA inside of his DNA. I bring it up because when you're watching Man of Steel, it is one of the oddest things ever to think to yourself okay, so this one man is going to fight all Kryptonians, right, by himself and defeat them.
Both Kryptons are extremely authoritarian. They have councils. There's not a single person in front of it, but they've evolved in a society where choice is no longer a thing. Each member of society is born with a preset role that they have no choice in being able to breaking away from. They are oppressed society that is destroying themselves both Jor-Els go to the point of saying that. And it's really it's sad. Russell Crowe's Jor-El says it the best. We're a product of Krypton. We're dead. We do not deserve to die. And they're right.
Exactly.
That shit should die right there. I'm not a huge fan of authoritarian in the first place, but think
of it this way. Jor-El could have created his own spaceship and actually flew out there, and no one could have stopped him. But you understand the situation like that you have to leave all your biases behind. And the only way to leave the bias behind is start with a whole new generation, right? Yep. You forget, even if that comes at a cost of eliminating yourself. Because the thing about either one of them, that's both the Jor-Els in Man of Steel and in Superman 1978, they understood that they would still be there for their child in the end through memories.
Oh yeah,
through machines, the whole deal. They've war gamed this whole thing out, so they know their child won't be alone. But what will be left behind are the biases that they have, the predisposition notions, right? And that's what I like about that concept. So it goes back to his only begotten son who came to another planet.
Superman shouldn't be saving a cat. Superman shouldn't be putting out a fire. Superman should be saving races, fucking destroying global warming, taking out nuclear missiles, all that type of stuff. It's a waste of his powers.
Protecting humanity from itself.
Yeah, but see, so this is the issue that I love about Superman, right? Because it goes down to this, right? You have to allow those to have free will. Because the same thing, you can think of it as God himself. If God is up there and he's looking at all of us, he knows. Remember this. This is the God knows what you're thinking, where you've been, where you're gonna go, right? He knows you're gonna do wrong. But the question goes, does he intervene in that? And the answer to that question is no, you don't, because you have to find that for yourself.
Free will.
Free will. And that's technically that's like you can see the Superman doing it. Yes, he has all this power, but at the end of the day, what does he really want to do? All the guy wants to do is just make a difference.
Yeah,
that's all. He wants to make a difference because he knows that he can, and that's what makes Superman such a good character. Right? That an amazing character overall. Of a humble person who happens to have a crap ton, who can destroy a planet.
The way they do the Jonathan Kents is a father, right? Successfully raised some smart, brilliant. They're going to do great things out the world children. How do you raise a Superman? How do you go about this? How what do you do to make this person is Kevin Costner, Love You and Feel the Dreams, says whatever choices you make is going to dictate humanity type stuff. How do you do this?
So you as a father, if you're going to be somebody's moral compass, you're trying to lead by example, and it's obvious in Man of Steel that Kevin Costner's character has taught him all the right ideals, all the right choices, so as he continues to grow, he's actually emulating his father, and the things that his father meant to him, and his father always did the right thing, so he wants to always do the right thing.
It's fair. Yeah. You're gonna get there one of these days.
No, I'm with it. I can't really follow.
You might have Superman children.
I mean, like, I can't really follow because he's right. Like, you have to be the moral compass for your child. Like, if you have a child like that, especially one as powerful as he is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll put it this way. Like, what I really do enjoy is that they do show that these people aren't perfect. All right, they show them not perfect.
Yeah.
They show that like his mom really cares, but this. In a sense, they're still selfish because they love him so much. But at the same time,
you know how I know that his parents loved him so much was when the tornado was coming in Man of Steel.
Yep.
And Kevin Costner stops him because if Superman would have revealed himself at that time, it could have been incredibly dangerous.
So let me ask you about that, because that was a question I wanted to ask both of you anyway. In the first Superman, Jor-El just has a heart attack on the farm, and I think it's very anticlimactic. It's very that's a bad way to do it.
That's why I like this updated story, because now we have a choice, and so you could have.
What's your choice? You're his dad. You're raising him. Do you stop him?
I also stop him, honestly. Okay. If it's too dangerous at that time to reveal who he is, if I love my son that much, that I'm trying to save him from the universe. Or from himself, for that matter, because he hasn't learned everything yet, and he has to come to terms with why his dad chose, and the mother is a strong, female role in
which
his
Dan Lane's a little bit better. I don't like and we talk about strong women, and we're going to talk. Actually, we're going to talk about it now.
Yep.
The difference between the Margot Kidder Superman character, where Perry White's making fun of her for not being able to spell rapist, and the Amy Adams version of that strong woman.
Yeah, I think we've gotten better at writing women. And in the 70s, women were treated a certain way, which should have never happened. And as our own society has evolved, we stopped writing women as weak people. We stopped writing them as tools in sexual escapades. And even when we did write a woman in power, well, how did she get there? Well, she slept her way to the top. We now write women so much better, and women write women so much better now. Women are also writers. Back then, this was still a male heavy realm for
very much so.
Not just actors getting all the good roles or great parts and whatnot. But even in those 70s, we had Ripley. Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, yeah. Alien's amazing.
She was a badass the whole way, and you didn't have to tell me she was a badass. Her action showed me that she was a badass. But a lot of women's roles were, damsel in distress. Somebody that needed to be saved.
That's true. And then I want you before you do that, defend the creeper that Superman is in these movies.
We'll get to that after that. But just going along with Frank, right? Just to say is that so me. I personally like the 78 and 2006 version of Lois Lane.
78 or 2. Amy Adams or Margot Kidder?
Margot Kidder.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Straight up. Because this is my
She looks the most like the comic.
No,
Right?
I don't. No, it's
Doesn't
not,
she?
No, she does.
Lois
but-
Lane's not red hair, but that Amy Adams.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So 78,
Yeah,
Lois
78.
Lane looks more like they cast her.
Yeah.
I mean,
original-
honestly, if we're going to a true Lois Lane, you got to go to the Lois and Clark
Yeah.
series on HBO.
Yeah, Tara Hatcher.
Oh yeah,
Tara Hatcher.
yeah,
Yeah. See, I knew you was gonna do that. That's why we're not bringing.
She's on the screen right
We're
now.
not bringing these people. There's Terry Hatcher Prime.
Go ahead, I'll cut you off, man.
But no, so what I mean is like, so in the 78 version, she is like a powerful woman.
Yeah.
She is like, she's a mover, she's a shaker. She just happens to be, what I enjoy about it is that she understands that she can't lift a car. Mm-hmm. She can't fly in the air. All of these things. So this is how I see it this way, right? It goes back to that Ken situation, right? I call it the Ken apocalypse.
Okay.
Of where the
Trademark.
Yeah, the girl says that Ryan Gosling is a normal person. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So what I'm bringing that up is because in this day and age, Superman would be seen as a regular dude. Yes, that's right. And you know what I mean when I say that.
I do.
All right. So, but
You see my face right now.
In the 1978 version of Superman, it is understood that it's not normal for a man to be able to hold a helicopter and fly with a woman and have a conversation with her at the exact same time.
I think that's the definition of multitasking.
Exactly.
If I look at it, do some multitasking.
Yes, that is definitely the definition of multitasking, right? So she can appreciate. She's wowed by the wonder that takes that in. It's like seeing a butterfly for the first time.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. There is no wonder to Amy Adams' eyes. Mm-hmm. She simply hunts Superman down across the planet.
But wouldn't that would be a Pulitzer Prize reporter do? I mean, to me,
I don't know. I don't mind it. I'm saying like I don't mind that like it happened. But my point is that so this also goes back to what I call the. So there are a lot of underlying things about like Superman that are appreciated by I call it the fans, right? Mm-hmm. And so those things appreciated by the fans.
Go ahead, tell them a couple.
All right, so there's one. It's called a Superman berry. Okay, Superman berry is one of his most powerful powers. All right, one of the most effective powers that he has. Whatever he touches, his aura extends around said object to ensure that it doesn't fall
I've heard
apart.
this.
Yeah,
That's why he can save somebody an inch off the ground and they don't just turn into Smucker's jelly.
Right, yeah, Smucker's jelly. All right.
I just saved you, by the way.
Yeah. Exactly. Another one. His most like I call it like the most underrated power that he has is the fact that he looks at you and you can't see him. So he's actually involved in mind manipulation. Because remember, this is a 6'4" dude walking around with glasses on, yoked, and nobody
the
notices.
percentage of 6'4" dudes in the world there alone is not very high.
There aren't a lot of 6 foot dudes, and then on top of it, he's 6'4".
Yeah.
All right. This dude is a giant compared to like most people.
Yeah.
And no one notices. He's the invisible man in the room. No one even notices he's there. He's actively participating in mind manipulation. He has these subtle powers, as I put it right, are so powerful that it's just kind of taken for granted because the joke is he's been right next to Lois Lane this whole time. She hasn't seen him, but it's not about she hasn't seen him. He hasn't allowed her to see him.
But there's the catch, and I'm going to stop you there for a second with that power.
Yeah.
She's not in love with Clark.
See?
Yeah, she's in love
But
with
the
Superman,
real
though.
person is Superman, which is
Yeah.
ironic because we talked about the Kill Bill reference with this. So you got two things. You've got to defend Superman the Creeper using his powers in Superman Returns. He's a creeper.
We can't go to Superman Returns right now. We can't go there right
No,
now.
but- so
But it's
infatuated.
there. I want you to go with that.
Okay.
So he uses his powers to create mistrust, manipulate her, make her look stupid.
Man.
He stares at her through the. Now, don't get me wrong. If I had X-ray vision, I'd stare through a building too. I'm not going to be above that.
Yeah.
I'd stare at more than through buildings.
But he uses all his powers not for good.
Yeah.
He could be
for
out
his own-
saving people.
So
Yeah.
so to me that segues into the theme of each one of these movies, right?
Okay.
And so now that you brought up Superman 2006, all right. To me, Superman 2006, I'm gonna tell you right now, I loved this movie. I love this movie so much. when I watched it, and then I end up catching an STD from watching it. All right,
No, wait, go.
It's that good.
Just leave me here
That's what
for
I'm
a
saying. The movie is that good. You watch this movie, and then as you're observing it, you realize that like it has broken your spirit. That's why this movie is as good and as bad as it is, because what it does, it takes it's a black and white character, which is Superman. Superman is either good or evil. There's no in between. And Superman Returns turns Superman into a gray character because he had never used his powers for anything but good, which goes back to those powers I was talking about before. You just explained it, right? He manipulated Lois Lane. That's one. All right. He creeps on her, which is weird enough, and he wants to.
But he is
going to break up a marriage. I'm saying he will break up that marriage.
Yeah, Cyclops.
It's going to happen. Yeah. So it turns Cyclops, which is my boy again, into a cuck. I'm saying that, right? Which is really irritating. I hate you, Bryan Singer. I'm saying it right now. In the middle of that, I hate you, Bryan Singer. I hate you so much. Because you single-handedly turned this man's career into a cuck. It bothers me so much.
So let me go with this. So my problem with Superman Returns is it's Superman the deadbeat dad. So this dude knows he impregnated her. He left her.
So you got to explain Superman Returns, because we just jumped right into it. So you explain Superman. See, that's the thing about Superman Returns. You have to explain that one.
Okay, I'll explain it in 2 seconds.
Yeah,
Superman gets mad at the world. He selfishly decides to go to Krypton because I'm going to go to a planet that blew up. My dad told me doesn't exist. He wasted 8 years of my life.
He doesn't get mad at the world.
Yeah,
he doesn't get mad at the world. He decides like he's going to like go find Krypton because like some scientists discovered it, and then he goes out.
Sounds kind of
own.
Selfish to me.
Yeah, no, it's very selfish.
Okay,
I'm just saying it right now. But at the same time,
she's pregnant with his child,
but he didn't know.
Yes, come on. So that's my problem with Superman.
I know what you're about to say.
And I'm going to transition.
I know what you're going to say.
The kid knows. What do you think about deadbeat dad Superman?
I blame Superman for the single mom epidemic in 2024. He was such a bad role model. He didn't teach men responsibility.
But he's not wrong. He didn't learn from Jor-El. That whole the father becomes the son.
Damn you, Superman.
And the son is the father stuff. No, he runs away from responsibility and goes to 5 years. I'm sorry. Anyway, but it's true, man. I mean, so yeah, we're good with that. So. But you're not wrong. I know you love, and this is. I'm telling you guys, this is from a place of love that I'm going about this. I
am with you. I'm just telling right now. I'm 100% with you. I get what you're saying, but I just say we got to explain the story first, which is he leaves the planet, he comes back, and then he thinks that he's just going to pick up exactly where he left off, and then he finds out that the love of his world
had moved on.
Mm-hmm. And so that's why I was like, this is the beginning.
And then he starts a journey to destroy a marriage too. So he's a homewrecker and a deadbeat dad.
He is. He's a genuine homewrecker. He's a deadbeat dad. Superman is a bad person in this movie. I can't like. Yeah. That's why I was like, he turns into a gray character, which is something that he doesn't. A person with power like that can't be gray. They're going to turn to the dark side. So in Superman Returns, he shows back up. And he immediately goes back to rescuing Lois Lane, which is a throwback to the first movie, Superman 1978.
I would love to have a hero that saved me all the time.
But either way, like
fuck the rest of the world.
That scene is so amazing. It shows off Superman powers. It shows him like doing the wing comes off the plane. He catches a whole plane. That is structurally impossible, by the way, right? Structurally speaking, but that goes back to his underlying power. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Superman's dingleberries. Right. Is that what you called it?
Barrier. A Superman barrier.
Barrier. Yeah.
You were feeling my barrier.
Oh, there it is.
Superman barrier. Yes, that goes. Yeah, that goes.
It might be a fat barrier, but you have a level of fatness around you right now when I do that. You're protected.
Yeah, but it goes back to Superman barrier. And then what really like seals the deal for me is when after he saves the plane, he walks onto it and tells them like, statistically, flying is still one of the safest forms of travel.
Which is the perfect throwback to 78.
That's right. The same line on the first time he meets her.
So let me hit another one home on you. How do you, this whole leave it ship thing where the ship's like, oh, they're in the rig. Just leave them. This the little bird. Does that shit happen? Do you guys just drive, sail? How do boats move?
Do you put it in third gear? You dump the clutch and drive in the
I don't
water?
know, like the wheels on the bus go round and round, man. I just think there's a bus in there, right? But anyway, while you're at sea, you just let people die? You just get out and die?
We
course
don't.
not.
That's just a fact. No, you would never do that. As been a thing, you're going toward the fire. That's a fact. You're gonna go toward the fire. You're gonna get in the war. For the ships I was on, we had like actually helicopters. But the point is that they would send something over there. It would be a team that's assembled like on the spot.
But remember, the dude in charge of the boat that he's working on goes, no, they're gonna die. We're good. Give me my binoculars. I'm gonna watch them die.
Yeah, that's not a thing. I'm saying right now, that's not a thing at all.
Okay.
Even, I think
that makes me feel better about life.
Yeah, because like reality, I thought all seamen were like required to like if there's aid has to be given. Aid has to be given.
Yeah.
What's that?
That word?
No, fourth grade nitro. Heard semen.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought we were talking about something else.
Can
Okay.
we please look? I'm turning red. I'm red right now.
All right.
But what I loved most about the newest Superman, Man of Steel, is every time he lands, he didn't glide down like a daisy.
Yeah.
He smashed the concrete.
Well, see that. So this is what. So now, you're bringing up what I call the transition of showing the different. So you got, in my opinion, 1978 is what I call Superman Prime. All right. 2006 is like
No. Before you gotta explain that to me. Why Superman Prime?
he has to be Superman. I'm saying, okay, so Superman Prime, the amount of powers that he output in Superman 1978 is the level of ridiculous. All right. He spent the world backwards.
Yeah. To make it go back in time. And then the Avengers proved that's not how you go back in time.
Physics
I'm
work.
telling you, like right now,
I saw Back to the Future.
No.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So 1978 Superman is prime. The only way to define it is prime.
Oh, you're gonna have
Superman.
fun when I ask you about that later here in a little bit.
So and the reason why I bring that up is because so let's call 1970 Superman Prime. We'll call 2006 an off universe, and then the Man of Steel is like what I would call like the dark Superman. Because in my mind, the most recent Superman is what I would call the injustice version of Superman that was coming along the way.
What's the Superman that's the fake one?
He's actually the most real. Bizarro?
Yeah, thank
Bizarro.
you.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a comic book reference. I got one. Man of Steel was actually the most realistic one for me.
Exactly.
You know,
Except-
because in a comic book world, you know, where you only save, you know, it is not realistic to me because every time, you know, you punch someone through a wall or, you know, you kick a tank or somebody punched you through an entire building, dude, there were office workers in there.
Yeah.
People are dying in that. And because he's such an idealist, because he was raised by incredible parents and things like that, but that evil that he's got in his arms is never going to stop. So this is the first time that Superman has ever actually killed somebody on screen.
Yeah.
I don't know about the comics. I didn't get to read them as a kid. I couldn't afford them.
It's his thing. So you put perfectly in that question. What do you do?
I kill
If you're
him.
Superman, you kill him?
I killed him twice.
Man vs. Doomsday. Greatest comic ever. Read it if you haven't read it. Death is Superman.
But basically knowing that the technology to even keep him jailed on Earth doesn't even exist.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
You know, where do you take him? He's just going to keep coming back.
They don't have a Phantom Zone,
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
They don't have a Phantom Zone. So there's nothing to do about it.
They got a Dave and Buster's.
One, but
Dave and Buster's is pretty close. You can wander around that place all night. Put him in a Dave and Buster's.
we will still sponsor you though. Please, David Buster's.
love you,
I
David
would love
Buster's.
one of those
Sorry,
cards.
no.
I love
That's what
playing
I'm
games.
saying. I don't
David
even know what time it is in there. They're telling me, Tank, you got to go home.
So
We
that's-
drank all our beer.
Each one of these movies is that. So you can call it the way our morals have changed through time. All right. So 1978, the morals were way different, which is why he was all about justice. You know, taking care of all of humanity. You know, so to speak. The 2006 is when they, which is Superman Returns, is when they go ahead and all of a sudden you find like who is this person? Like, is it supposed to be Superman? Who came up with this idea that this is the good guy? Because that's what's saying. You were watching a movie about a terrible person. He's a deadbeat dad. So deadbeat super dad who allows someone out there knows that Lois Lane is the father or is the mother of his child. Mm-hmm. That is an incredibly dangerous situation.
True. And right? I want to do this before we're going to do that for a little bit more. I want to go a little deeper, but I want to wipe Man of Steel off the table since we already did the ending here. I want to go back to one thing that I wanted to ask with the whole thing in Man of Steel. So the Kryptonians realize they're gods. If they don't, they realize that somewhere between the last scene when Zod shows up, I'm the warrior scene, that shit that I commented on earlier. With that being said, they could stop terraforming the planet and they could live in peace. They could almost enslave the human race.
Yes, they could.
So my question to you is, one, do you take over? Or two, because they wouldn't be gods if they took over. They would just be the average day people. There would be a red sun. They wouldn't have any special powers. They'd lose all those things. Or do you become a god among men?
I try to find a balance, honestly. I don't want to rule with an iron fist or abuse, knowing that somebody is far meeker, and societies are always judged on how you treat the weakest, and I wouldn't want to be the one that was feared. I want to be the one that's respected. Yeah. So if I can bring my technology that can help them in their own humanity, I would try to be.
So you'd be Jor-El, not Zod.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. 100%.
What you got?
If anything, they could have just went to a moon base. Just saying it right now. They could have took
Transformers. They could Transformers.
They could convert the whole moon.
Anything.
They could convert the whole moon.
Then why not go somewhere that the humans can't get?
Exactly.
To?
They can't even
get to it anyway. And then you can live in peace there.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So I mean, like it's not like they even came from clean skies and a blue sky, and clean seas. They didn't come from a world like that.
Yeah.
So the moon, if we're gonna use realistic, like aspects of what you're asking for, then I would go to the moon. I wouldn't even bother. Like I'd be like, hey, you know what? This is a little too much work for me.
Yeah.
All right. I gotta fight the god of our own race. Okay, straight up. This guy is all of Kryptonians in one body. Representing us in one body. This is too much work.
Yeah. They also could have reproduced on their own. They have a female on board. They have enough male that they could divide the DNA pool.
Yeah, and that's what I mean, right? So they only wanted Superman so they can basically bring back their population. So I understand, they'd
be lazy.
Yeah, it would be. But I understand what the drive motivation is. But if we were going to be realistic, that's my point. I would just go to the moon and just go ahead terraform the moon, chill. That way, it would take them apparently centuries to get to the moon these days because. Hey, guess what? We have to get back to the moon. That's crazy.
We're ever there at all.
That's all I'm saying.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Choose one superpower. What's your superpower?
I already have a superpower. It's mind control. Do you have any idea?
Is that why I asked that question? Man, I don't remember asking that question.
You don't get a beautiful woman like mine. Think she loves this.
She just thought. That was her choice.
She didn't know it. Yeah.
She didn't know it.
In the next advertisement, Tank's seminar for getting the most beautiful woman you can possibly have.
Just have him around. That's his advice. Just have him around. A superpower?
Just one. You just get one. And don't tell me you want the one that have multiple powers. So you get one power.
I don't know if it works that way, but I'm just saying.
You're a mutant.
Dude, I read comic books. I'm saying, right? I mean, it's not like a thing. You're talking about I have an actual unlimited amount. You say one.
I put you in the back to Tank and cook you like Deadpool.
I just kill it to say Legion. All right? Legion.
Explain Legion then,
so
please.
Legion has every superpower known to man because he has multiple personalities mixed inside of one body. The power, actually, be honest with you, if I was just being like a normal person, it would just be like Wolverine.
Yeah,
unlimited healing.
Yeah.
No, it's not so much a healing. I just like the concept of having knives in my hands.
You're like 6 feet taller than Wolverine.
I'm saying
things are not impressive to Xavier because he already has super strength.
I just want super strength.
Come attached to these kind of people because they have their flaws, they have their problems, but at the same time, it's like loving a Juggernaut or my absolute favorite villain. Dr. Doom.
About Man of Steel anymore, but I don't care.
Yeah.
So, but in Man of Steel, even when they talk about this guy right here, this stands for hope. Where yours is spaghetti, right? I But I love that it
Shame.
stands for
Shame. It stands for shame.
It stands for shame.
The ringing the bell.
Shame.
Yeah.
That's how they call him.
Yeah, that's bad.
Batman had the light.
The light.
This guy's got the cowbell.
Yeah.
Ting ting.
We love cowbell.
Yeah.
Every song should have
Needs
cowbell.
more cowbell.
More
Yes.
cowbell. Yeah.
Your most loved ones. I know you both have them in your life. If they died, would you turn back time to save their lives?
No.
Why?
I just believe that things happen for a reason. You know, I may avenge them.
Fair.
You know, if they died wrongfully.
Yeah.
You know, or whatnot. You know, I may go Anakin Skywalker on the entire. You know, on I'd even be looking for, you know, like the third cousin and things. You know, to make sure that they didn't have an opportunity, you know, to do anything else in the universe. But my main reason, honestly, is because I'm such a horror movie fan. Final Destination.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how many times you cheat death. If you were supposed to die in whatever timeline this is, somehow those things will find a way, you know, to right itself,
Okay.
right the ship,
Like a
you
divine
know?
destiny thing?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, basically,
Okay.
you know. So if you weren't supposed to exist past a certain age, you know, you may get a few more hours or a few more days or whatever it is, but then I don't want to chance reliving that heartache
Okay.
over and over.
Yeah. I can see that.
Fair?
Yeah. I think as me being who I am, I don't think I would, but like I think the issue with the 1978 Superman is that like you're talking about. So the way I see it is this, right? When I think about that scene, is that he thought of all the things that could possibly happen, and then he thought to himself that this would put him down the darkest path like ever.
Can I stop you and answer the question?
Go
You
ahead.
don't think his decision was based on sheer emotion?
Oh no, it was definitely emotion.
Yeah.
because he was able to save everybody except the one person that he thought he had not only a chance with, he thought he may have something with this person. So it basically cut off a future that he never had a chance to like even come to fruition. So he really you can't call it love because he can't say you love somebody. He only talked to it like twice, right?
And we kind of glaze
Yeah.
over, you know, it's not like he just rewound,
Yeah.
you know, California.
Yeah.
So does that mean those bombs actually hit in New Jersey?
See?
You know?
And that's what I'm saying.
Because, I mean, now it's a selfish,
Yeah.
it really feels like a selfish, you know, decision.
So it is a selfish decision, but I call it on the flip side. On the flip side of that is when he loses it, and the first thing he thought to himself, I'm going to go kill
Yeah.
Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Because he was at that point. So it goes this: either you commit which one of the worst acts that he could ever
Right.
commit at the time, which is murder, and I can guarantee you that's what he was thinking about. Because you
And you
commit
become the
murder,
thing you hate the
and you
most.
become that thing you hate the most. Or he could just, as I'm not saying this is a big deal, but go back in time and just ensure that at the very least he saved the person that he loved the most at the time. So he couldn't.
Why didn't he save the other hundreds of people that died in that process too already?
Because remember, he would make a time. He actually did save
Not
those
completely.
people.
Remember, he
Or
only
he
did it up to a
saves her,
certain
and then he
point.
goes,
He only
"Be
did it
right
to the
back."
point
Yeah.
where the car
Maybe,
goes in
maybe
the
that's
ditch.
what
Yeah, that's what I
actually
mean.
was, you
And that's
know.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying, right? And I,
Saves her, and he goes, be right back.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the Gene Hackman
yeah,
reference.
exactly. And that's what I'm saying. So I understand like that like why he chose to either spin the world backwards in order to do that. And I'm saying we know that's not how science works. But the point being is that he had the power to do that. And what I do like in 78 is that if you pay attention to what Jor-El is saying, he's constantly saying, "Don't meddle with time." All right.
He also can't intervene. He's forbidden from intervening.
Yeah, or meddle with time. So these little things that he's saying, one of the things
No, he can't intervene in human history. Well, I guess,
See
okay,
what
I
I'm
see your
saying?
I see your parallel.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's
yeah,
fair.
and that's what he's
That's
saying.
fair.
He's constantly saying that, like to
That's
him.
fair.
So you're like, there's got to be a reason why he's saying that, and it turns out that like because he can freaking go back in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he has the power.
Because he has the power to do it. Yeah. So and so my point is like, so that scene could have actually started Superman Returns, but at the same time, it is such an amazing movie. So they get, like I said, they get all the superpowers down
Hearing
right.
that from you hurts my soul. I can feel your conflicted soul
I'm
right
100% with
here.
you. Like I said, I get it, but the point is like they kill like showing off his powers. They kill He's good with like the banter between like Lois Lane and him. He kills it on that, but the same time he is selfish as all hell in Superman Returns. The world doesn't need Superman. He's a benefit, yes, but at the same time he doesn't need to be the center of attention. He literally goes back doing all these things just so he can become the center of attention, just so that Lois Lane can come back in his life, so that he can destroy her happy marriage.
Lex Luthor is not wrong about Superman. That's my worst part about all this. Don't get me wrong, Lex is a criminal mastermind. He's a horrible person, right? And the subject matter we're talking about this, you don't get enough deep dive into what Lex is and his insane jealousy, like you're talking about people with Tyre.
Yep.
But he's not wrong about what Superman is. He's a god among us that pretends to be a sheep, but only acts like a god when he feels like it, which only pushes that God complex worse going forward, and then we become dependent on it, and he's a virus that infects the human race. It brings more powerful villains, which again, go back to Superman, you need powerful villains to our planet because his existence are here, because they want to see if they can get in the ring against the Man of Steel.
The champ.
His son relationship, again.
Man, that's sad. I don't even like bringing that up because like
We have to talk about
man,
this.
it's so much crap. You have a kid, you know it's your kid. The one person. This is what I was trying to explain. So in Superman Returns, all right. So if people are confused, what happened in Superman Returns? So Superman Returns happened between Superman 2 and 1 and Superman 2 and 3. It's between 2 and 3, right? So there was a Superman. The original we talking about right now is 1978 Superman, but there's a Superman number 2 and Superman number 3. In Superman number 2, Superman turns his powers off and goes and marries Lois Lane. All right. But then at the end of Superman 2, he turns his powers back on and then erases his marriage from Lois Lane.
Can I ask you something?
With the kiss, you know,
With the kiss.
Yeah,
What's
100%.
his third secret power of Superman.
So here's another. Here's another Superman freaking asshole move.
I also turn my wife off when I try to kiss her. I'm basically Superman.
Yeah, basically.
Do I need to take this off?
Right? Yeah.
Like,
Wash your first, please.
so my other problem with Superman 2 is there's a diner scene where he gets punched in the face and goes flying. He bleeds. You actually see, I bleed my own blood. I don't bleed my own blood. Love you, Jesse Ventura. But he gets beat up, and he hates it. So the first thing he does when he gets powers is he goes back to the freaking diner and shows the dude up again. Look, I don't like bullies either, but he's perpetuating that cycle.
Yeah.
He's not making it better.
Yeah.
It's insane to me. So let's fast forward with this. I do like that Lois Lane, on some level, Kate Bosworth was horrible as Lois Lane too. Look, the best Lois Lanes to me is Amy Adams knocks it apart. I'm with her. I need an aggressive woman who hunts people down, who earns her Pulitzer Prize, that every scene Amy Adams been, I love her. But every scene she's in, she takes over like you do. So I want that out of my Lois Lane. I need that out of my Lois Lane.
But see, you're discounting Kate Bosworth in Superman Returns because remember she's the one that tracks down Lex Luthor and finds out that like that house is the center of all of attention because you know why? Clark Kent is off.
She makes a phone call.
Jerking
she
off.
looks it up back when we had phone books. She looks in the phone book and she goes, "Oh, he married an old lady. Oh, here's another one. You sell your soul, marry that old lady to get your fortune back." Lex Luthor loses his fortune. If you guys don't know this, Lex Luthor falls off the face of the planet. They take all his stuff.
Yeah.
He's completely poor. The way he gets it back, cue gold digger Lex.
That's right.
You gonna do that? You gonna sell yourself to get money from an old lady?
Never.
It was like $1 trillion fortune.
Yes. 100%. Sorry.
That was like $1 trillion. I'm telling
You found my number.
Yeah.
You found my sellout number.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? Only Lex would do that. But Lex is like a person of vanity. And that's the whole point. The show of vanity and how he thinks he's projected. And it's like, his weakness is how other people see him. That's Lex Luthor's only weakness. How other people see him.
Yep.
They have to see him as superior.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So yeah, Lex, the other thing is they talk about land. He's not wrong. Look, if you guys haven't invested in land, here's a free investment tip for the day. Invest in land. It's the one thing that always goes up. He's the thing in both those is completely correct.
That's like my favorite line. In the first one, Miss Tessmacher.
The War and Peace Corps.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Man,
Say
Miss
yours,
Tessmacher.
brother.
Yeah, I love like Miss Tessmacher too. right?
Oh.
So yeah,
She got a hot Playboy centerfold.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in Playboy.
Yes, for real. So
For real.
For all those people out there wondering, yeah, look up Miss Tessmacher and you'll see what we're talking about. But keep going further. He asked her a question like, "Do you know what my father said?" She was like, "Get out." That's like that's verbatim. Get out. He chuckles and then he says, "Son, stocks may rise and fall. Utilities and transportation systems may collapse. People are no damn good, but they will always need land, and they will pay through the roof for land." I don't have
That
one.
actually resonates in
Yes,
real
it
life
does.
even now, because
Yep.
one thing that you can't make more of is land.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, what makes this movie so terrible, as good as this movie is the fact that Superman, knowing that Lois Lane does not know who he is, the mother of his child, knowing that he is the last of his species, period. He just flies off and just tells her this bullshit line, "I'll be around." You're like, what?
Yeah.
What does that mean? You'll be around for child support? Like, no, I'll be around, Lois. You're like, that's not cool.
That's not commitment.
That's not commitment at all. What is that? What is it? That is the part where I call the STD. That is the line where I call the STD right there. All right, because I realized I had been
name
infected.
this STD so I can at least brand it?
I had been infected, and I was just
Superman
like,
transmitted
yes,
disease.
exactly.
There we go. There we go.
That's what it said. I didn't
There we go.
know I had caught. I was just like, my soul was broken from that scene alone, because that solidified that Superman was a bad person. Mm-hmm. Not good. I'm saying bad, because you're the last. At the very least, you're gonna be there. I'm saying right now, nothing could separate me knowing that I am the last of who I am, last of my name, last of my species, and I have inadvertently created life. Still doesn't know who he is. I can tell her right now, she doesn't know how it happened.
Right.
Yet somehow she's just carrying Superman's like child, and now she's been keeping this secret for 5 years.
But you know who helped her with keep that secret?
Oh man, please don't say that.
We'll just leave that as a spoiler.
Oh, man.
You know exactly what I would say
Freaking Cyclops.
right now.
Yeah,
The Cyclops,
the cuck.
there we go.
Cyclops. The cuck.
Nitro is an abbreviation for nice titties, bro.
You like film?
No, I don't.
I already did.
No, thank you.
Oh yeah. So this being a tribute episode, we're gonna do something special. All right. This is our ode to Superman. As much as we all love the character and we love what we're gonna do. So there's gonna be no best show, and we're not pulling out the rating scale. What we're gonna do is we're gonna pit all three of these movies against each other. Who's your best movie?
I'm honestly conflicted, because Henry Cavill did such an amazing job. He looks like the comic version of Superman with bulbous muscles, and really good looking man,
He is.
and his hair is right, his smile is right, everything about him looks like what I imagine a Superman would look like.
Okay.
But for me, Christopher Reeves is always Superman. He's the original. He had a real man's body, an every man's body.
Yeah, I know
what
what
I
you're
mean,
saying, yeah.
he had an every man's body. Christopher Reeve will always be Superman for me. Amy Adams will always be in my dreams.
Fair. Fair.
Can you blame me?
No one's blaming you.
I thought the 06 just wasn't realistic for me. And the way that they portrayed Superman is not an idealist,
No, it's not.
a hero.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see my heroes as an anti-hero or with these I've got conflicting
emotions.
Yeah.
He's a complicated human being.
Yeah. I don't want any of that, because he was already written, as the perfect person, that. The Boy Scout that helps, old ladies cross the street and things like that, and Christopher Reeves was that, in the first one. Henry Cavill is that in the second one, but it's more because of technology, and I do like the way that the story is. The thing that I do like about Man of Steel is that they made it more realistic, because if you had to choose saving millions of people and killing one person, Superman would make that. I believe in my heart of hearts that Superman, the man, if it were real, he would make that decision and kill the villain, for the sake of humanity, for the people that he loves.
It's not real?
Superman.
That's your best spoiler yet, dude. I thought the shit was real.
Superman's not real. No. Man of Steel for me is a number one. A super close second is 1978.
Yeah, 1978.
Superman.
Okay.
And nowhere close is 06.
Okay. Go ahead. Defend Bryan Singer.
I'm not defending Bryan Singer. I'm not defending it. Not defending
Go
it at
ahead.
all.
What you got then?
I would say like my number one is 1978 though.
Okay.
I'm a 1978 guy, and the only reason why I say I enjoyed the 1978 is because first of all, I didn't even know that movie was 3 hours long.
Didn't feel like it, did it?
Yeah. I was kind of like shocked. I was like, was this movie? But I think the versions out now are what they call the Donner cut.
Yeah.
Right. These are Donner cuts now.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't know the movie was 3 hours long, and each one of those scenes though it added to like making it more.
Sorry, it's 3.5 hours long.
Yeah. I'm saying, but
It's a Lord of the Rings episode.
it is.
Without
is
the
long.
character depth.
Yeah. Don't
He didn't need it with Superman.
I'm saying this would be nice to Superman, but the point is, I still like 1978. Yeah. So I'm a 1978
I don't
guy.
even know what clothes Jimmy Olsen wears in the morning. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
I'm saying. So I'm a 1978 Superman. I think they nailed it with. Like I said, I see 1978 Superman as Superman Prime, right? Mm-hmm. He has so much power, he's even aware he's being watched.
Yep.
Think about that. As the movie goes off, he's like, see ya. Mm-hmm. That's his thing. The amount of, this is where I put it, right? How much hope do you have after watching the movie? You watch Superman 1978, and you feel as though the world is a completely different place. You feel as though there is hope left in this world. You watch Man of Steel, or I'm not even getting to the Bryan Singer version, but the point is like you watch like Man of Steel and you still feel like there's a weight left behind, right? After you watch it. I feel as though, like I say, 1978 gives you, I would almost say not only inspires you, but it actually drives you. It wants you to be a better person. That's what I put 1978. It's a flawed human being, but it really wants you to actually be a better person. And that's why I think 1978 personally is like my favorite movie. It's not about, the little things. It has its own little problems, but I love that movie because I laugh a lot in that movie.
Okay. Yeah. And what's the worst?
That's not even a question. Okay. That's Superman Returns.
So I'm going to blow both your minds.
Superman Returns.
I'm going to blow both your minds here. Superman Returns was the greatest movie ever made.
Stop lying.
I felt motivated from the very first day that he showed me.
He loves villains. That's all this is right now.
I felt motivated from the first time that he showed me how to properly leave a woman crying and go be self-serving and go to a place that I don't even be there, waste my time in life, alienate the people that trust me most in life, then come back and have them save me from myself. Yes. And that's how I'm gonna live my life. Oh wait, I'm sorry, April Fools. No, Man of Steel is the best one by far. That's the worst one. I agree with the guys 100%. You guys got anything else to wrap up the Superman tribute?
No, that's it. That's it.
We're already off. I'm going to key off on that.
No, we were supposed to do it bad.
Why are we still recording? It's not going away. You guys have a great week. Thanks for the love. See ya. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings the program to its unfortunate end. If you liked or hated it so much you can't wait to see what we say next, smash that subscribe and like button. Join the family. Join the ride.